Um, it's such an honor to be up here, to be recognized with my fellow inductees. Congratulations to the three of you. I had the opportunity to watch from outside, mostly outside, as Legends Row went from being a concept, worked through the challenging logistics of finding a home to becoming a reality. Though the founders were a small group of people that took on this challenge, it was a group that was immensely proud of our city, proud of its past, and that translated importantly to our future. Not to diminish the work of the past and current board members, but I always looked at Jake Deere, Doug Fowles, Norm Loberg, and of course Ron Duquette as the ringleaders. Thank you to you, the board, and to the selection committee for inviting me to join this August list of deserving Mississauggans. So I want to start by addressing this list where there are some inductees that impacted me directly, people that are already in the walk of. Firstly, my contemporaries in the development industry, Iggy Caniff, Harold Shipp, and Peter Gilgan. All three were easy to look up to, committed to giving back while they helped our city grow. Iggy was such a polished and smooth operator. He helped create our downtown by bringing people into the downtown. Harold was a leader in industry advocacy, always providing me with advice in my industry work, but making sure that all the people knew that he was younger than me by 1 year of becoming president of the Toronto Home Builders Association. Didn't want anybody to forget that. Peter Gilgan, no one in our industry gives back more than he does. And his firm, Mattamy, is just simply the biggest and the best in North America. I watched Jim Tovey's evolution from his first term, where he worked so hard to consolidate and perfect his political chops, to his second term, where it was hard for me as a developer to keep up with his city building ambitions. Jason Spezza. I had the good fortune to coach Jason's younger brother, Matthew, a few years, alongside his father, Reno. Whenever he was available, Jason would join our practices as he could show the right way to do the drills and how to translate those drills into game situations. It was hard to swallow to recognize that this kid knew about the game more than I did. Jason was always a grounded, solid young man, reflecting his family, his city, and his country. Jack, real pleasure that you were able to present me with the award. You know, it's easy for me to admit that you're a magnet to follow in your selfless giving of yourself to such valuable endeavors. I'm looking forward to our travels together because I get to be his guide next week in Italy. Patty Giannone, who does so much for our city, and making sure to remind me always of our shared Italian blood. And of course, Hazel McCallion, who influenced my awareness of how our industry could work together with a city to build on shared goals. Now, there are many thanks to go around, and I'll get to why at the end. But so first of all, thank you to my family, my wife Marina, my children, Christina, John, David, and Robert. I wasn't raised in Mississauga, but it's been my home for 40 years. Almost all my children were born here because I was supposed to have the house finished by the time Christina was born in '85, but unfortunately the builder, me, was a few months late in completing it. As we grew our business, there were some nights apart, but my priority was always to get home pronto to be part of their lives. Our family has grown with spouses and grandchildren to total 16 at our table, and we have a 7th grandchild on the way. Thank you to the gang for celebrating with me today. You are my inspiration. With my parents, John and Josephine, and my siblings, Tony, Marianne, and Ralph, we weren't just a tight-knit families. We're partners in everything we do. We've been partners for a long time, since before we even started all working together, with so many loud Italian relevant conversations around that dinner table. And Kent, you know that that loud dinner table continues to this day with our table. I want to thank Oscar Monix and Ace Locker, my Dutch partners, without whom we couldn't do the big works we do, and who are completely bought into our community building philosophy here in Mississauga. Thank you also to the whole team at Framslocker for their good work that reflects on us so well. Once conceptualized with my brother Ralph, it's my brother-in-law Fred Serafaro who delivers the goods. A special thanks to what Mike referred to as the members of the Port Credit Community Foundation. They really guided us into the concept and have, without compensation, shepherded this organization to its yearly support of tried and true community building. And they've encouraged growth opportunities to benefit the people of Port Credit. Thank you to Karen Priest, Don McVie, Michael Speziani, John David, Bruce Kerr, and John Pappas. Now, some of you probably have heard me say that the giving of money to support the various endeavors is the easy part. In Mississauga, Port Credit's volunteerism is the real legend. I'm always in awe of the selfless giving of time, the organizational skill sets, and the ingenuity that drives the good works that are done. It drives Port Credit's vitality. Thank you to Councillor Stephen Dasco for your indefatigable work. Your guidance and direction is valuable for what we do and for the people of your ward. And you make sure you always keep me grounded. Thank you to our political leaders, to Mayor Parrish and her supporting crew for believing in us to do the right thing. People know us for our ownership product, but under the guidance of the city, we are proud to have delivered in Mississauga 3 affordable housing projects and 3 seniors residences over the years. To the people of Port Credit, they deserve many of my thanks for tolerating the changes that we've brought upon them, though not all of them, of course, tolerate us. And I do get it. Change is tough for some people to swallow, but this place has been constantly evolving for hundreds of years. It's hard, but I've heard some people say that it's better the devil you know. My wife sort of hinted that way when I proudly announced that we had purchased the St. Lawrence Starch lands. Her response, "Why did you do that? You're developing in our own backyard. You better do a good job because I'm not moving away from here, though you might be." So there was no pressure there, honey. I share this honor with all of you. It would be impossible to do it without you. The first time I visited Port Credit was when I was 8 years old. My father and I left our home in Etobicoke for a tournament in Port Credit. It was such a long drive that I was convinced we were doing an overnighter. Since moving here, I've seen Mississauga become a magnet to a diverse, vibrant community. Port Credit is our trademark, but I'm also proud of playing a part in the creation of and in the programming of Celebration Square. I say to people that you can watch the world go by all summer long by participating in the culture that the square brings us every weekend. The same holds true in how Port Credit waterfront pulls people from all around the city down to its edges. I am lucky to live here. There's no place in the world I would rather be. Thank you all.